Okay. So now that we got this situation under control, we'll move on. So, again, every credit's gonna be like that. Have the box, you put your own opinion about it, elaborate, kind of give me a why, don't just give me like a one word, a one sentence answer. But the whole point of this is to let me know pretty much what you know about it before I start. So let's see what you got. Democracy should happen so everyone has an input. Isn't just one person. Okay, that's perfect. That's actually the perfect answer. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. If there is like words, if you know, like you do in democracy, right? You could have just said everybody should vote or something. You're doing that kind of word, right? There's another word that says that's a type of situation where everyone does make, or one person makes all the rules. You know what that is? A dictatorship, right?
Oh, like Stalin.
Exactly.
Stalin
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Right. That's the kind of stuff I want in there, right? Show me you know that. Show me you know that Stalin was a dictator. Show me that you know that dictatorship is the opposite of democracy, right? That's what that's for. The next page here, the next page there.
Where's test on this?
There won't be a test. It's going to be the project. The project's going to pretty much going to sum up everything. But the good thing is you don't have to cram for a test. You just have to demonstrate the stuff you learned on the project. Second page is a list of all the standards that are covered in the packet that you're doing. So, because you're all living in a different packet, this will always have a different set of standards for you to learn. This next one here on page 3, anytime you see this symbol, it's called a QR code. That means there's a video for you to watch. Now normally you're going to have it on your own, so I'm not going to be here to give you the instruction. For the first one, that's why we have the lab, so I can teach you this part. So the first lesson is about primary and secondary sources. Do you know what the difference is?
Primary, okay, there's one where it's like, it's not reliable as much, and then there's other one where it is.
A little bit. There is a little bit of reliability issues, but
I feel like I read about that.
but you're really close. You're right on it. You know?
Primary source is like getting it straight from the book.
Exactly.
That's
Well,
what
not
I'm
straight from the
saying.
book.
Like
One's
from the
reliable
person.
and
Straight
one's
from
a
the
fact.
person.
One's a fact.
And then
one's a-
secondary versus like from a book or
Right.
That's what I'm
site or
saying.
something.
But if it's in the history book, if it's in the encyclopedia, it's probably reliable, right? Okay. But she's exactly right. Primary is from that time in history. So I want you to think outside the box too when we're thinking of primary sources, because you're going to be finding the primary sources on your own. So primary source could be something that's intended to be a source, like a birth certificate. It's made to document that person being born. Marriage certificate, sales receipt. It's made to document that you paid this much on this date for this thing, right? That's a primary source on purpose. Pictures could often be like an accidental thing, right? If you take like a bad picture or an incriminating picture, it could be used against you. Be like, no, you were definitely
Or
in
you're
it.
like slinging a knife in a photo and just.
Yeah, and then she turns up dead the next day. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. So some things are accidental, primary sources. Some things that you don't really think of. So a journal is kind of a person documenting it, so they kind of do it on purpose, right? But if we're looking at older stuff, so if somebody writes a letter to somebody else, right? Maybe it's a love letter. A guy is at war and he's writing to his wife. So in the letter, he tells about the war. Who was there? We had a big battle. So many people died. So and so was with me. We were in this country and then we're in that country. That kind of stuff, right? So it gives you insight into the history because that person was there and lived it, and they're telling their loved ones about it. Okay. This will take us to our next lesson, but we'll touch on that in a minute. So the very first assignment you actually have to do is you, by yourself, have to find a primary source. So I'm going to give you a name, and it'll be an easy softball of the name. Okay? So in this, it'll either be a name of a person or like a topic in general to find a primary source of it.
So I gotta do that by myself after this, like, each time.
So we're gonna only do one. We're gonna do the first one, the easiest one. We do George Washington together, all of us, and then And when you get home, you're gonna do the other one by yourself. Okay? See it? I'll do this in. We're gonna jump on the computer and we'll get started on this part. And the login is gonna be student and student.
Okay, right here?
Yeah. Should be. Or bang on the keyboard. That's good.
Wait, Internet Explorer?
Go to the desktop.
Or, right, I don't know.
What'd you miss?
I don't know.
Right, go back.
Right here? Chrome?
Either one. Chrome, Firefox.
Chrome, Firefox.
It should be working. There we go. Alright, so if I told you to find a primary source, what would you do? Where would you start? Like if I wasn't here, what would you do?
I would like type in like.
Like right where you're at, right? Google. You Google George Washington, so let's go ahead and do that. Sorry, this. Alright, very first thing that comes up is what?
Wiki.
Wiki. Okay. Wiki we know is not an okay source to use, right? But it's a really, really good starting point. So go ahead and open up the Wikipedia page.
Because at the bottom, don't they have those things?
Exactly. So go to the bottom. See, you don't even need the lesson. Go to the bottom where it says the resources. Now what you would do is you would read through the stuff you were looking for, right? Yeah, it's George Washington, so there's a ton of stuff. Now what you want to do, we're finding primary again, guys. So not secondary, but primary.
All this stuff?
All that stuff. So you want to find something with an old, like 1790 something type of date. Or it also, if you see, it's listed, they're not listed alphabetically, but the very first thing listed is the person who wrote it. So if you find something that says Washington George, go ahead and open up that.
Mine needs to be Washington.
No? Because see, the person who wrote it is this guy, Andy Cole. You just keep on looking. Look through the dates or look through the names. That somebody created that. He created that. That's hold up, hold up. Which is better than having that. There's things that you're like, oh, wish I put that.
Stuff like
Look
this.
at Washington George's letter to Robert Morris. Is something that? What do you got? No, you see, because Paul Bowler is the guy who wrote that. We want something from that time. All right, so we have two very different things. Yours is, what is it?
The Confederation series, whatever.
Confederation Series, Volume 4 essay, right? And who wrote it?
George Washington?
Did George Washington?
I don't know.
Paper.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first part of the introduction, I was looking like, why is it written like that? And then right here is actually him. Washington explained, and it's his stuff. Look at Destiny's real quick. So she has the papers of George Washington, right? And this is Dr. Craig and Dick's account of Washington's last illness and death. This guy is the doctor with George Washington when he died. Right? So we have a picture, it's a decent source, right? But if you read this, it gives like a very detailed, minute by minute and hour by hour, how did he die that day. Okay? And what they did to try to save him, and who was even in the room if you read it. Okay? Really cool primary source. Right? This is a primary source. It's gonna work because this is stuff Washington said. It's just not the juiciest stuff to look at. But when you're looking for the primary source on your own, this stuff is very good to use. So go ahead and on your paper, under number 1, go ahead and fill out that information.
Okay, that was my.
So type of source, what is that? Yeah.
What was it?
You can use hers too. If you want.
Okay, so same thing.
Well, what is this thing though? Like, what's the purpose of writing it? It's like a, what would you call it? It's a little tricky because it's not like a letter. It's like a death account, really, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would call it. But title, you're gonna want to put this.
Well,
Dr. Craig's account of Washington's death, or illness and death. That's like the official title for that piece of paper.
We gotta actually spell it out or if we could not.
Date. Is there a date there that you can see? Jumps right. Nope.
of him dying with December 14th,
The one that's written.
Can we say last illness?
Yeah, it does say last illness and death. But the URL is the internet address where you found it, okay? I don't need you to copy the whole thing, but I need you to put enough so that if you and I were to sit down, when you're turning it in and we're looking through it, and I want to check that source, we'd be able to find it. So you would put like webarchive.org.
Who he died on this one? Who he died on this one?
That'd be good enough. I really just want to, so the, because we could go there and we could search it, and we could find it, right? Based off the information you gave me. All right. We're going to turn to the next page. And that's about secondary source. We talked about that. We're going to turn to the next page. All right. We have 2 different lessons on bias. You guys know what bias means?
Yeah,
What's bias?
like,
Is it like
their opinion?
Right. Right, it's their opinion, and they get their opinion based on who they are, their life experiences, where they come from, the way they were brought up, or whatever, right? Their preference even sometimes, okay? So, people like the color red, right? I don't like the color red. So, if somebody told me that, people that choose the color red are more intelligent than people that don't like the color red, I'd be like, no, that can't be true, right? Maybe it is true, but my bias would assume that's not true. I hate red because it's saying that I'm not intelligent as somebody who wears red, okay? It's a funny little thing, but it's a good example of it. So, this video here, when you read it on your own at home, it will introduce this thing here. This video will talk to you about what we just talked about bias. Okay? You're gonna watch this video, read along with it.
So when you go to YouTube, you just type that in?
Yeah, you go to YouTube, search, and then you type in that search, and it'll bring it up. Okay? Now this guy right here is the one writing it. He's gonna come with his own biases, okay? I promise you. And the whole point of the assignment is for you to identify his bias and answer these questions about it. Easy enough? Yeah, you got it. You get it? Okay. It'll make sense. I promise you when you do it, it'll make sense. Alright. Now we're actually going to do one of the videos and the video note-taking assignment. So go to YouTube. You'll probably just watch it on this one. There you go. Because you're going to want to watch them simultaneously and you're going to want to play the music. Either one. It doesn't matter. And then search, YouTube search, too late to apologize, a declaration. It'll probably come up.
Oh.
There.
Too late to go.
Alright. Okay, so what we're going to look at, guys, it's kind of like a parody of the Too Late to Apologize song. Okay? But what we're looking at it for, you'll recognize it right away. What we're looking to watch it for, and then it's short too. What you're going to be doing is be taking notes on it. Okay? So you take notes on here. For title or website, you will put YouTube. No, I'm sorry. Title of video. You're going to put Too Late to Apologize, a declaration. URL or other identifying information. You'll put YouTube there. You're going to tell me, it's going to be soft because it's only for entertainment purposes, right? It's not some hardcore, like, encyclopedia type resource or source. Here you're going to tell me after, you're going to tell me why you know it's not, like, how do you know it's not hard evidence? And then here you're going to give me some notes. This part here is going to help you with the notes. We're going to look down here at the bottom where it says, what's the mood of the recording? 3 things it says. Why do you think it was made and for who? And what evidence in there tells you? Is it something they're wearing? Is it the way they're saying? Is it the words themselves that tell you why it's made? And then it's going to tell you 2 things about life in the U.S. at the time it was made. Now this isn't a primary source. We're not talking about the time it was made, because it was made like a few years ago, right? It's going to be about the time it's talking about, that it's trying to teach you about. Does that make sense? All right. So there's yours. And we're just going to skip on down to this part right here, to this part, step 3.
This first one?
Mm-hmm. We're going to watch it one time just to watch it, and then we're going to go back and then we'll answer the question. So I'm trying to do it now.
It was like watering or something. Well, on the computer, sometimes I don't know the
So I'll watch it on Alfred's. Again, we're going to watch it one time just to watch it and kind of laugh and be like awkward about it. And then we'll watch it again for the actual. Oh, what's up?
I've been sitting there waiting so I can turn in my project.
I'm always going to every Thursday at 2.
I don't know.
What's up?
Oh, I just